Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Hi, welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to join us for this episode. We're so excited. We've got some great guests lined up today. And before we get started, I just want to remind you that tickets are still on sale for our Childcare Genius Live Conference in Las Vegas. We still have a few tickets left. So go to childcaregenius.com under the conference tab. Go to Childcare Genius Live and get your tickets today. We would love to meet you. It's going to be an amazing conference, and we're so excited about that. But today's episode is featuring Jessica and Jeremy Kelley. And Carol and I are excited because we went to their school about a month ago, right? Mm-hmm. So we visited their school, and we were impressed. It's really cool school. They just doubled the size of it. They're full with a long wait list. It's nice to see everything firing for a couple.
They're full with a wait list, and they have 2 schools within walking distance.
Yeah, true. And
which is amazing.
And it's because of what they do. And they just hired us as coaches. We're coaching them now to make them even better. Even though they're full with a wait list, they have some big goals for 2025. We're going to help them get there. And we really enjoyed meeting them, spending time with them. We got to spend a whole day with them. That's what we do with all of our VIP coaching clients. And we found ways to improve their processes and make them more profitable. So we're excited about that. So let's
get Jessica and Jeremy on the line.
What?
Hi, Jessica and Jeremy. Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
We're good.
So good to see you guys. We visited you just recently. We were in Tennessee, Carol and I, visiting your school. Got to know you a little bit better. And I was like, we need to get this awesome couple on our podcast. Got a great school. You guys work good as a team together. You got a dynamic marriage and dynamic partnership. I'm like, we got to go get this story out to the world. So I said, all of our millions of followers are going to love this couple. So I said, I'm going to get you. I might be making it up about millions, but maybe hundreds of thousands, whatever. In my mind, it's millions, but that's okay. Anyway,
Goals are good.
Yeah. So you live near Nashville, and we love Nashville. What a great area that is. We were hanging out. We went down to Kid Rock's bar and listened to some good live music down there. And have you guys ever gone to that place? Pretty cool.
I don't know. We haven't done Broadway in a long time. Back in our day, we did quite frequently, but now I'm in pajamas by 8 p.m. So I'm not about that life anymore.
Normally when we're at home, but when we're on the road, we're checking things out. But Nashville is a beautiful city. We have other clients that we visit in that area, but we just love when we go to visit an area, we love checking out the local sites.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about your school and why it's unique.
Well, our school, we feel like, is unique because of the relationships that we've built in the community. We have, previous employees who worked here maybe through college while they were getting their degree, and now they're coming back with their own children. And then we even have former children coming now with their children, since now our center is almost 19 years old. So I just feel like we've built a legacy in the community, and I think that's just a testament to the focus that we put on those relationships.
So you haven't done this for 19 years. So how did you get into the business? And how long have you been doing it?
Actually, I've been in the business about 22 years total, 11 as an owner, 11 as working for another two owners. So getting into the business originally as a teacher, I started working at our daughter's childcare center when she was 3. And I was working a lot of hours, and I was like, okay, I'm working all this time and I'm paying all my money to gas and the daycare bill. So the director there offered me a job, and it just really worked out. That's what I felt like I was called to do. And then started in this program, 18 years ago, and worked under the previous owner for 7 years. And then we were offered an incredible opportunity to purchase the program from them. And so, God showed up and showed out, and we were able to do that. And so that's where we've been. And almost since day one of the 11 years, he's been with me full time at the center.
It's awesome. We love hearing that story. And that's kind of the story that I wanted to hear on there, where you were actually a director of the center that you bought for 7 years. And, it goes to show you, owners, if you're out there and you're thinking about selling, your director is the one who knows the business your best. That might be an opportunity for you. And so I love hearing that story. And I mean, you've been there a long, long time, and it's a beautiful school. You just completed a beautiful new addition to it, doubling the size, and it's absolutely fantastic. So it's changed a lot since you first started, right, Jessica?
Yes, it has changed a lot. It has grown a lot. And it's just such a blessing. People talk about with me all the time. That's one of the first things they do when they see me. How's it going? I want to come see it. And I'm like, come on, come visit me. We're happy. So it's been challenging, but good.
Yeah, it's Jeremy. So when she came and said, honey, thinking about buying this school, you must remember that conversation. What was it like when she came to you with that? And were you excited on day one, or were you kind of a little hesitant?
I told her we couldn't afford it. Like, we weren't going to be able to purchase it. And then we just talked a lot about it, and we talked to the owners that were at the time the owners. And so we met with them, and it started seeming to be more attainable. So then we just really dug into the numbers and the 5-year plan, and a lot of praying, and went to the bank, and it all worked out.
It's funny, you went to prayer, and God found a way.
Yes.
And I bet Jessica was very tenacious in very what's the word I'm looking for? Persuasive in helping you persuade to this.
Right.
I know she could be persuasive, but what a good team effort that you guys figured it out together.
Yes.
What were some obstacles that you faced trying to grow your business in the early days, and maybe recently? Like, what are some of your biggest obstacles you have faced?
I think just like everybody else, staffing, finding the right fit, needing, to hire more staff for your expansion, but also not wanting to go down the quality of your staff and what your goals are, what your values are. And that's, we have a great core staff, and we're very, very blessed in that aspect. And just, trying to build a workforce of the next generation, to educate them on how important, our field is. And so that's just one of the many challenges that we have faced over the past, several years since COVID.
To give our listeners a little perspective, so how big is your current license capacity? How many employees do you have?
We are currently licensed for 237, and our staff ranges between 38 and 40.
Right. So that's several of our clients have 2 or 3 schools combined having that total. So that's a big school. In my state, there's no schools that big. That's a big school, and you're full to the brim with a wait list. And so it's I mean, you do it really well. It's one of the best run programs that we've been into. So you've done an amazing job at your school. So
Thank you.
I should be really proud of what you put together.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of tell us about the multi-site schools, but feel like we're already there. They're just side by side on the same property. But some days I
Right.
feel like, you're being pulled in two different directions. So might as well just call it two instead of just the one. But,
Well, I
and
have
it was
clients
never
with
really our,
I have clients with three schools that you have more children than they do.
yeah,
So it's like running multiple programs, really. So
yeah.
you do one school really, really well.
Thank you.
How has coaching helped you grow your business?
Coaching has really provided us with a safe space to work on ourselves individually, to work on our marriage together, to work on our business. The resources that we have been provided have been really priceless in making sure that we are keeping our mindset in the right place, that we're working together. The community that we have where, nobody knows everything. Nobody's experienced it all. Nobody knows it all. But when one of us has a problem, we're digging in together, and it's really nice to be surrounded by people who understand what you go through on a daily basis. And sometimes it's hard to talk to people outside of being a business owner, or outside of being a childcare business owner for that matter. But when we come to you or any of the coaches or any of just the regular community that we're a part of, we feel like we're understood. So that's been a huge difference for us.
I love hearing that because I did this for 19 years before I found a coach, and it's lonely out there and lonesome, not having help and having to figure it out and having to make your own mistakes and not having a community. And once you find that coaching community, it feels like, oh my God, I have somebody to talk to, like somebody understands me, because as an owner, we can't talk to our staff, can't talk to your director. Sometimes your spouse doesn't even understand if they're not involved in the business. So sometimes having a coach is it's almost therapeutic to have somebody that understands you, your business, knows what you're going through, been through those same struggles, and can give you a calm voice sometimes in a storm. So I appreciate those comments for sure. So where do you see your business 3 years from now? What are some of your long-term goals?
I don't know. I'll let him talk for a minute.
I see the business being, if we end up completely absentee owners or not, I see the business being in such a position that we could be. It's really her heart, so I don't see her ever being 100% absentee. We may get her there, but it's, this barn is her heart. So, and as far as, where we see in a few years, it's just if we can be more absentee, to some degree at least, and be able to focus on other things, some other, property investment things, vacation life, things like that we don't have much time for either of those currently. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when you're building a business, you have to put off, we call it delayed gratification. You delay, and you guys have delayed a lot. And, eventually there comes a time where it's like, okay, now I can enjoy life a little bit. I've worked hard. Whereas, people go on annual vacations, get to do things. You guys have put a lot of that stuff off, building your business. And I can't wait to see we reap the rewards of being able to have a little bit more time. You don't want to wait too long, because walking on a beach in your 40s is a whole lot better than walking on a beach in your 50s and 60s, right, Carol? Trust me, the aches and pains are a little bit less, so you got to enjoy it while you guys are still young, for sure.
Well, I do believe that y'all can get us there with the talks we've had, the resources that you have available to us. Being able to log in there and read things that help us and all. I think, in due time, I think we'll be able to enjoy that stuff.
Absolutely. I know you guys will. And it's just a matter of priorities, goal setting, and having a determination and being able to let go, Jessica, right? That's the key.
Yeah.
Hard to let go. And once.
I think it's as hard as it is for me to think about, that But I look back at the unique position that we were in when we were trying to, buy the center and all of the blessings and how they lined up. And if we were able to provide that to somebody else, what a huge difference this has made in our life and our family's life. And being able to possibly do that for somebody else, to pay it forward would be, I think that would be, that would probably help with all of the feelings of, guilt or, not being included in what's going on the daily basis is, making sure that that blessing continues and it doesn't stop with that.
Oh, I love hearing that. That's awesome.
You attended our CCG Live conference in Las Vegas this year. What did you get out of the conference?
Well, I shared with you before that, we were going into it with an open mind, but we had already decided, being his first childcare conference and, being in Vegas and we don't vacation very often, we were very much like, hey, day one, if this isn't really like what we're expecting, we're going to just leave and not go back. And we're just going to enjoy the rest of our vacation and spend it by the pool. And it was probably 10 minutes into the first day. And I was like, running out of room to write in our book, and then we were just looking at each other and the notes and the things and conversations that we were having between the speakers. We were like, wow, a lot of times you go to a conference and you might not get anything out of it, or you might get a few nuggets here and there, but it was like every speaker, there was so many different things. And because it was only focused towards owners, you separate the directors and you're speaking specifically to their needs and the things that they need to know. And then the owners, it was incredible. The knowledge in the room, it just, there was no way we weren't coming back for the next day. So that was really, and we're already signed up to go again in April, and we're bringing our director this time. So we're super excited for her to experience it because, she does her calls on twice a month, like we do our calls weekly, but, I just can't wait for her to get in there and have that same experience that we have.
So I got to ask you, Jessica. So we don't do a sales pitch at our conference. We're different than other people. And so you didn't join coaching at the conference because we don't pitch you. Did anybody call you after, try to bug you, get you in? Like you called us, right?
Yes.
3 months later, You're like, okay, we're ready to do that coaching thing. We don't pitch. We don't bug people. When you want to join our coaching, we're there for you. But we want you when you're ready at your time, and we give you people space to find out when that time is right. And we're glad you did. And you actually joined our highest level of coaching, which includes a site visit from us. So we came in. Carol and I spent an entire day with you at your school, toured around, toured the area. What did you guys get out of that?
It was a great time. It was nice to share our program and for you to be able to see it in action and understand more of like what we're dealing with on a daily basis. And I think, like you said before, that helps you coach us better by being able to see where we're at and what we have. And it was just nice to have somebody come in and say, these are the strengths that you already have, and these are some goals for you. These are things a lot of times, you're so stuck in the thick of it that you can't see things. And some of the exercises that you did with us, not just about the business, but about our relationship, I think that was the most valuable for us to see that even though some days it seems like we're not on the same page, but that our goals are really the same, that we really are a lot closer in those things than sometimes maybe it feels in the day-to-day, just because you get busy and you're not always on the same train track, it doesn't feel like, but those exercises that you did with us really helped us to see that we are.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we
want to come to Maine. We want to come to Maine. And I was like, are you sure you want to go to Maine? It's cold in Maine. But he's like, I want to go to Maine. I want to see their school. So like, okay.
Summer,
no, we have 2 or 3 days of summer that's really, really nice. Maybe,
Find us up.
I'm kidding. June, July, August is good.
Yeah.
So what are the sorry. We're like, is it my question or is it your question? And we don't edit stuff out because, we make mistakes too. So Carol's like, that's not my question. So what are some of your secrets of working in the business together? Like, how do you, what do you do? What's your roles? What are your secrets to working together without strangling each other?
It's funny that the question, we both wrote our answers to these questions on separate pieces of paper. And when we sat down together before logging on, I glanced at his paper, he glanced at mine, and we both wrote pray. That was our answer for that question, was both pray, because, we've been together 27 years. So, we kind of, we know how to get on each other's nerves. Let's just say that. We know the buttons to push when we want to. And so I think that praying definitely helps us work in the business. But, he's the money guy, which is good, because if I was the money girl, we would have no money. And I'm the visionary. So I'm the visionary. I will see a picture, and then he's like, okay, realistically, what does this look like? How do we get this done? And so we do make a good team, and we're both, on the same page about what's important to us at the end of the day. So I think that's what helps us.
I love that. And yeah, 27 years, you do get good at pushing each other's buttons, but you also know how the other person thinks, and you also know what they like and appreciate. And that's the one good thing about long-term marriages, is you really know how to make the other person happy, and you can make them sad at the same time. But you guys really are dialed in now, and we're happy to see the success you have working together. And working together in childcare is not easy. I mean, we've had some people saying, I don't know how you guys do it. Work, 24/7, 365. We're always together, just like you guys. And I think we're even more together because, we work in our house and we're always in our house. At least you guys get your home and you're separate. You have offices and your daycare. But we figure it out. And I'm glad you guys are figuring it out. And every day it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge.
Yeah. It's definitely, the thing is it's worth it. So it's worth it.
It is worth it. What's the alternative? You'd have to do all the financial stuff there, Jessica, and that's no fun. So,
yeah.
And then you're walking on the beach by yourself, nobody to hold your hand. I mean, it's no fun either. So, what
yeah,
sense
I wouldn't have the money to go to the beach, so it'd be okay. I would be there.
Yeah,
all the time.
You could buy somebody to hold your hand. Yeah, you got enough money, you could have to pay somebody, but it wouldn't be as fun. I've got it written in my will that Carol doesn't get anything. That's another guy can't touch any of my money if something happens to me. So she gotta spend her vacation, and that this can't happen, because I'm gonna have to suffer if something happens to you too.
Okay.
All right, just letting you know that I'll be suffering on that first class flight to Dubai, and I'll be suffering on the beach in Jamaica alone, thinking about you and crying the whole time.
I'll be suffering too.
Yeah, I bet you will. You'll have a drink in your hand. I don't drink, so you can forget. I can't.
If you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I think that was a hard question for me, just because I try not to think about that. Like, I try to think that every experience that we have made us who we are. We learn from it. Unfortunately, a lot of times we're just learning the hard way because we're both stubborn, and we're trying to, do it the best that we can without asking for help. And so I think if we had to start over, knowing what we know now, it would just be to prioritize family time and prioritize the relationship that we have outside of this center. And that would be first, and then this would be second. So I think that, obviously hindsight, it's 2020, and, we're committed to, that now, but in the midst of it, you don't really know. You're just trying to survive and trying to build your business and survive. And so think instead of, it being like, this is your role, this is my role, we would be more like, how, what are we doing together? How are we moving this forward together, instead of just he's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing.
Love that. And we often think the same thing. If we had to do it again differently, but we would do two things. We would spend more time with family. We'd have bought a lot more Amazon stock early on. If you could do it back in time, those are the two things I probably would do. Every penny we had. But anyway, we really appreciate you taking the time on a busy day. Happy New Year. I can't believe it's 2025 already. When this airs, we're going to be 2025. It's a new year. And we expect big things from you guys. We look forward to seeing you in Cancun real soon. We're
Yes,
having
so excited.
Mine in Cancun at the end of this month in January. And all of our top clients are coming in there together, and we're going to be working on relationship stuff. We're going to be looking at dream setting, goal building. We're going to get some secrets that we're going to pull out and maybe go do a fun excursion and have a little bit of good time. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks there. And if people wanted to find you, what's your website that they could see a little bit about the barn?
It's redbarnchildcarecenter.com.
redbarnchildcarecenter.com, Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yes.
A little bit of an accent.
Just a little.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for taking time to come on a Childcare Genius podcast. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.
You too.
Great episode, Carol. Love that couple.
Me too.
Yeah, it's nice when you meet a couple that really get along. They work together. They spend 24/7 together like we do.
Yeah.
And they haven't killed each other yet, like we haven't. Not that we're gonna. And they figured it out, and we're trying to make them even better on that in that process. So, so great episode. We enjoyed it, and we hope you enjoyed that as well. We're going to bring you some great content in 2025. We have some amazing guests lined up, and we just hope to pour into you in the new year. As you know, you've been such a blessing, this audience. We got a lot of feedback. If you ever have a guest suggestion, throw it out to us. If you'd like to be a guest on this podcast, if you're doing something really, really cool in childcare, we'd consider if you're a guest. Absolutely. Send me an email, brian@childcaregenius.com. We like couples that do really cool things that, nobody else is doing. Reach out to us. Also, if you have a question you want answered on the air, something you want some help with, some coaching, we'll answer it on the air, and that we could benefit a lot of people with. So we actually have a Ask a Podcast question on our website, but you can just send me an email, brian@childcaregenius.com. And if you'd like a free coaching call with me and me to help you out struggle with your business, if you're a center owner, go to our website under the coaching tab. Say I'd like a free coaching call. And I do a few free calls each and every month for pro bono as a give back to the community. And it's a chance for you to get on the calendar with me. And if I have open spots, jump on there, and we could talk a little bit about how to make your school a little bit better. So this concludes this episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. Again, Happy New Year, and we look forward to a good 2025.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.